Hello, everybody. Joe Malone coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is Wednesday, and the market snapped back today a little bit. It is a tough market to trade. I will tell you that. I was stopped out of a number of my positions today. But without further ado, let's get into some of the slides. By the way, if you're watching on TikTok, it's super easy to take a look at the live charts. All you have to do is go up to the profile, click on the link, and you should be able to get right on over to that to the slides there. So kind of a good thing going on there. So without further ado, let's go to the slides. Well, guess what? We did back off from a 14-year high on the price of oil. That was pretty steep price to pay, but it pulled back. I did sell some of my positions. I sold Nutrien as it pulled back. Again, I was pushing the stop loss up, and I did make a little bit of a profit on there. I was stopped out of several other ones as well. I ended up being stopped out of Northern Oil and Gas. I thought I was going to get a better entry there, but I was pulled out of that one as well. Just kind of want to show you some of the stocks that I was buying today. You might be interested in this. It's a company called ZIM, Z-I-M, and it is a shipping company. They had an incredible result from the. They had an incredible dividend. It did move up today very strongly. I did buy it as it came out of the earnings. The earnings were very good on this one, and it reported fourth quarter results that basically topped everybody's estimate, and they announced a huge dividend. So this is one also that, I think there's still time in this. We're below the buy point on this one. I was pretty aggressive in buying this one today, but it's called ZIM Shipping. ZIM is the symbol. This is one of the few groups that seems to be doing very, very well, and that is the shipping group. So one you might want to put on your watch list, ZIM, Z-I-M, shipping. Also, I did move into a interesting stock that jumped in terms of its composite rating. This is Quanta Services Incorporated, and this one did make a very nice move. I was a buyer of this one. Basically going as it moved up. Basically, right now it currently tops 96% of all the other stocks. There has been a movement away from many of the tech stocks into some of these other plays. This one has to do with the oil field services. I do believe that, with the oil prices basically going to an all-time, to a 14-year high, we're going to see some action in drilling, probably in the Permian Basin. This is one of the stocks that does benefit from that. The symbol on this one's a little bit unusual, PWR. It's Quanta Services is the name of the company, Quanta Services. I did buy a 3/4 position today in this one. Now, some of the stocks that I did sell, Northern Oil and Gas, NOG, the reason I sold it was, unfortunately, it pulled below my very tight stop loss. I had basically a 3% stop loss. So, in this volatile market, sometimes they pull back, and, I just let them go. But I was out of Northern Oil and Gas. It pulled back. I was stopped out at 24.24, and then boom, it turns right back around and moves up again. So very, very volatile. The oils were off today, as the oils pulled back a little bit today, but still very, very volatile market right now. I also was stopped out on CSX. This is a railroad company. This one I thought it was going to do better, and it was looking good, but then it pulled back as well. Stopped out of this one as well. It's about 34.50 is where I was stopped out of CSX. So I probably am not going to be trying to do one of those again. Interestingly enough, my other rail play, which is basically Berkshire Hathaway, which is basically an insurance company, Dairy Queen, and a railroad, that one did quite well today in terms of that. So we'll get to that in just a second. On the volatility on the market, we pulled back a little bit on the volatility. We declined 8.57% to about the 10-day moving average. So it does look like the volatility is moving down a little bit, which is good. It spiked, but this is noting that we're at a pivot. When you get these volatility increases like this, what the market is saying is it's kind of making a decision whether or not it's going to continue at that on the track it's been going, which is pulling back or possibly getting a bounce. So, we may get a little bit of bounce here, but I do think that overall the market is moving lower. Here is the current holdings that I have. Again, of course, I did have those sales today based on the stop losses that I put in. Always remember, one of the things that you always want to do, and I try to follow this as closely as I can. This has saved my bacon many a time. And basically that is, if a stock moves against you 7%, you want to sell it. And the way I do that automatically is with a stop loss. So that's the 7% rule. So that's why if you watch me from day to day and you're looking at this list of current holdings, it changes day to day because stop losses do come into play. Berkshire was up about $6.88. Not a lot because it's a relatively expensive stock. It was up about, but the volume was up about 7%. A lot of people seeking safety there. Callum Petroleum, this is another one of the oil companies. It pulled back a little bit, CPE, but it still seems to be doing fairly well. Energy, EPD, Energy Product Partners, this is a pipeline company. It pulled back, but just 36 cents, so not a lot. Barrick Gold was down a little bit today. Gold was off a little bit today as the price of oil pulled back a little bit. Zim Shipping, of course, I talked about this one. They just had tremendous. They had a tremendous play on them. They were up. Basically, the volume on this one up 193%. It's still below the buy point, so this one's still maybe be actionable. We were up about 6.2%. Really amazing. $4.45 up today. Quanta Services, of course, we talked about that one as well. Just wanted to show you the spreads that I have. These are most of these. The first three are bearish spreads, meaning if the price of the stock goes down, then we see it move up. So the first bear put spread that I have is on Lululemon. The price today of Lulu was $303.68, and this corresponds to a potential profit on this one of about $185. We entered this one basically. It was $458 out of pocket. We have a potential on this one if it is below, and remember this is a bear trade, so it has to be below. So if this is below $330 by the close, and of course we're at 303 right now, we will make all the money. And so right now we're at 303, so we're well below the number. So if we just go sideways from here, we will collect the entire return of 542. Now, of course, these are relatively small trades. I try to do these and show people how these work, but this is Lululemon. I do think it is probably moving lower. Also, much to the chagrin of a lot of people, I do have a bear trade on Tesla, and this one will make money as long as Tesla is below $849.99, or basically $850. So if Tesla continues to move lower, then this will make money. Right now, the close $835.99 or $836 on Tesla. And of course, this one is looking, like it's starting to pick up. We've got a little bit of time left on this one. The expected value of this trade, if we closed it now, would be about $118. And again, this one, when we got into this trade initially, 540 went into our pockets. And basically, this is a credit trade. So with that one, we just want to kind of run out the clock. And if we do, we keep the money, and hopefully that one will work as well. I do expect, even though the price of oil is up, I do expect Tesla to be pulling back a little bit more. So that's the reason for that trade. Also, we have a bear put spread, and this was on Twilio. Now, Twilio did move up today quite significantly. So on this one, as long as the price of Twilio is below 146, by the expiry date on this one, which is the 14th of April. This one as well will result in a gain. The potential for this one is a potential return of 802 as long as Twilio moves below 135 by the expiry. So hopefully, well, I think this one will move down. Now I did have to close a trade today, and that one was on Rio. I thought this was a bullish trade. I went against my better instincts and I went into a bullish trade. This one I closed out early because it just was going the wrong way. Instead of going up, it went down. So I closed this one out for a loss, unfortunately, of $305. Hopefully I won't be doing that one more than like that again. That's why it's so important to be very, very careful when it comes to these trades and limit your risk. I typically limit my exposure to about $500 to $700. And that helps me helps me with the overall risk mitigation. Right now, this market is tough. I'm backed mostly in cash, and it's just again, it's a tough market to trade. If you'd like to see the bear put spread on Lululemon, super easy to do. Just go to this address, https://bit.ly/DTF0092. So that is a good place to go. Also, if you want to get access to that, you're watching on TikTok, go to my profile, and there's a button that you can push that'll get you that trade. Also, we do have a very nice ready list with pivot points. And it is also at bit.ly/DTF0094. We are going to be updating that tonight, and the new ready list will be at DTF0096. So hopefully that makes sense to people, and I'll be putting that up, of course, on TikTok, on the link on my profile, so you can go over to see that. All right, so let's get to some of the questions. Let's take some questions from TikTok first, because we like to be, and hopefully. All right, and the first question is from Cowboy Rich. No, is it Cowboy Rich? Yeah, Cowboy Glitch. Sorry, Cowboy Glitch. What's your take on Gush? And of course, what Gush is it's a ETF that is a 2X. GUSH is the symbol, so let's take a look at it. I'm going to just pull this up on my screen here, and then I'm going to switch it over. There we go. So let's see if I can go over and put that up on the screen right now. So there we go. So this is Chrome has lost permission. Oh, goodness gracious. I have a little issue with permissions. I don't know why this is so hard to work this, but I probably am going to be changing software due to this. This has become a issue with this, but I've got to change permissions on it so I can show you my screen. So I apologize for this. Let's go to permissions here. Let's see. Okay, this is maybe not accessibility. Where is it? Okay, so I'm going to try again. Let's see if I can share this screen out again. This is for the people on the YouTube. Okay, so follow these steps. Unfortunately, this has been a recurring problem with them. So I've got to go to security and privacy on systems. Wow. I tell you, it make it difficult. So let's see if I can do this. Security and, oh goodness, does it let me? No. Password, security, screen time, everything but. Wow. Okay. Okay, so I can't, let's see if I can do that. I apologize for this. This has been a recurring problem with this new StreamYard software, which I'm probably going to change out just because of this. It just does not hold these permissions. So let's see if I can do that really quickly here. Okay, so I'm going to go to permissions. Why do they make it so? Well, I know why they make it so hard, but it's very hard to run it. Notifications. Let's see if I can get that. Sorry about this problem. I shouldn't have this problem. I've been doing this long enough. You would think I'd be able to do this, but for some reason, I think it's under the sharing thing, and oh gosh, it is not going to let me do this. Okay, so hold on. Let me see if I can change this out. Software update, everything but, it's interesting. Okay, let's see if I can make a change here on this. Let me see if for some reason I can move. I don't know if I can. Okay, so follow these steps. All right, so this is a problem on your Mac. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. System preferences. There we go. So hopefully I'll have this done in just a second here, as I apologize for this problem. Let's see. And then we want to go to, let's see. Click privacy. Where is that one? Okay, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Accessibility. Okay, so it's click on privacy. System preferences. Okay, system preferences, security. All right, let's see. There we go. All right, boy, I tell you, this is a problem. Okay, let's see. I want. Okay, then we have to go to. Okay, that should be on there. Camera, that's right. Microphone, that's right. No. Okay. All right. Screen recording. Maybe that's the one. No, that's on. So that's right. Let's see. Okay, that's going to be. Boy, oh boy. Let's see. Screen recording. Okay. Well, I'm on screen recording, and it won't let me see it. So I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna. There we go. It let me unlock it. Wow. Okay. Now, okay, so let me see if I can share the screen now. Let me see if I can do that. If it'll let me. I don't know if it will. All right. Nope, it did not. It did not let me do that. Unfortunately. Wow, this is not good. Let's try again. Oh, jeez. Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut it short today. Wow. I can't get my machine to share the screen, which is unbelievable. But that seems to be the problem. So let me try one more time to see. I mean, it's maybe a short day today, unfortunately. I'm having issues again with this. I've had problems with this before. It's a glitch in the software. And unfortunately, it's not allowing me to do this. So let's see, security and privacy. Let's try to go there again. All right, let's see if we can go to screen recording, and then let's see if it's going to allow us to do that. Click to make change. Okay. All right, unlock. There we go. Okay. Now. these again to see, hopefully, if I can do this. Hopefully this will let me share my screen. Again, problem with the software. There's a glitch in the permissions that it does not allow me to see this. So let's see if we can put this in. And hopefully this will work this time. There we go. All right, so let's see if that launches. All right, so let's see if we can share the screen. Hopefully this will allow it. Yes, it did. Finally, again, an issue with the permissions. I'm so sorry for that, but since we're now working, I can now show you this. So thank you for waiting. Thank you for being so good on that. All right, thoughts on Amazon. And it looks like the Amazon stock for 20 for 1. Well, when I guess they did announce this, there's a 2400 split, of course, on Google as well. But let's look at Amazon. Normally when there's a split, up until the day of record, it will move very, 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 very well. Today, it did move up significantly, about 6% in the after hours. So there's going to be a little bit of a pop tomorrow, but I'd be careful in this market because it does look like it may pull back. So you probably are going to get a bounce here, and this might be an opportunity on the announcement. I didn't realize that it was coming in today, but typically what will happen is we will see a bounce up until the date of record. So what I want to do is see if I can find out more information regarding this this stock. Well, okay. Let's see here. Well, I'm not seeing it. But anyways, I will get you more information on this on Amazon. Typically what will happen is if there is an announcement like a 20-for-1 split, that is an indication that we are going to be, it will move up. Currently, it is moving up in after hours. Let me take a look at the 15-minute chart to see if there's any action there. Okay, they did announce it, and then, of course, it was right about 2,800. And when they announced it, it did, 27. Yeah, it's already up. It's already up about 200. So here's the thing. I wouldn't buy this in the first hours, but this is an interesting thing. So Amazon is going to split 20 for 1. Okay, this is interesting. And I will have more information on this later. But thank you for bringing this to my attention. I was not aware of this. I knew, of course, about the Google split, but not the Amazon split. So CrowdStrike is up after earnings. Will you return? Okay, well, let's hopefully CRWD. It's CrowdStrike here. Yeah, it did. It had good earnings, up 21%. So there's movement back into the issue. But here's the thing about CrowdStrike, and here's the thing about most of the other plays here. I just don't think, within the downward trend like this, I think you got to be super careful buying it. This has a death cross on it, and so even though it's moved up after hours, I'd be a little bit careful on this one. I did have a alert on this one, basically, and it did move above that price line, so it did trigger my alert here on the price line. But I definitely think with with CrowdStrike, excuse me, you got to be careful on this one. I'm not totally convinced that this is the way to go with CrowdStrike right now. Even though it went up after hours, I think that right now we're still in a downward trend. So we have to be super duper careful in terms of the way we are operating. All right, Jim, do you know any indicator in the charts that show when a bear market is over? Good question. Very, very good question. Let's go to let me show you kind of what happens. The indicator is called a follow-through day, and let me show you where that is marked. and this is, of course, I'm using charts called MarketSmith, but let's look at the spider. Let's look at the S&P 500. And here's the thing, and Mara, this is going to be tough for you probably to handle, but we are not in the follow through day, so that's when it indicates a change in direction. But let's take a look at the S&P 500 and take a look there. Okay, we're still in a downward trend. Unfortunately, we're still in a downward trend, and we have not moved to a follow through day yet. Let's see if I can go to what you need to do is you need to look for a follow through day. Now you can find this in Investor Business Daily. So let me pull this up. There's nothing really in the chart. I will show you the follow through day. Hold on one second here, bringing it up, and let's see if I can look here. Follow through day. So basically, where this is, if you have a subscription to Investor Business Daily, there is a place that I can show you where this exists. You basically log in. You log into that. You go to the market trend. Oops, and I have an account, so it should sign in. There we go. You go to the market trend, and that is going to show you today's market. And right now, it's in a market correction. But if you click right there, it's gonna bring you over to, hopefully, if this works, it's gonna show you. There we go. Pull down here. Where is it? Market rally. Okay. Where is this? It's in there. It's called a follow through day. That's really what you have to look for. And I'm just going to go to the definition, but that's what changes the direction. It's called a follow through day. So hopefully this will come up here, and no, it's not looking. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Follow through day. Okay. This is the signal that the market has changed direction. It's called a follow through day. And let's go here, down here. Okay, so basically what's happened, yeah, those gains suggest that a follow through day could be in play for the struggling stock market rally, but not all the follow through days work. So basically, we want to wait for the follow through day. We're not there yet. We need 4 up days in a row, and we're not there yet. So unfortunately, we don't have a follow through day yet. So I will have to get back to you on the chart to show you where the follow through day is, and that I definitely need to take a look at that for you. So I'm sorry I don't have that right in front of me as we speak. All right, sorry about that. Let's see if we can take the next question. Thank you very much. Is oil still in play? Absolutely. I mean, this is a small correction. And any thoughts on Bitcoin? Well, I don't think that Bitcoin isn't. I think Bitcoin right now is going to be very tough to play because the government is wanting to come in and regulate it. The reason that the government wants to do this, of course, is because they want to print more money, and they don't want Bitcoin out there being a competitor to that. So we're going to see, right now, Bitcoin has not. It came up today a little bit, but it's still under pressure. The way I play Bitcoin is with GBTC. That is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And let's take a look and check in with the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust today. It was up significantly. There is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Gives you the look-see on it. And basically, where that is happening is that it's still in a downward trend. We did have a very nice update today. It was up 10%. So it's making a potential reversal here. But right now with Bitcoin, I think you just got to be careful because I do expect the government to move in and try to squash Bitcoin. And that's unfortunate, but that's the world we live in, unfortunately. Governments do not want to allow Bitcoin to be used. Now, of course, there are some governments El Salvador, for instance, that is allowing it to be used. But I suspect a very, very negative push on Bitcoin by governments, especially ours, because they need to print money. So I can't really give you, but I am very skeptical. Unfortunately, I think where you want to be right now is not in Bitcoin because of the situation. I think where the best place to be right now is in gold because we may unfortunately end up with a war. A much wider war. Today, GLD, which is in the ETF that tracks gold, it was down a little bit, but I still think that this one is going to move higher. On the monthly chart for GLD, this is the ETF that follows gold. We're almost starting to get to a point where it may take off. We're just below $2,000 an ounce. If it goes above that, we're very likely to see a run on gold, especially if there is a prolonged war in the Ukraine, which I hope it isn't the case, but I do think that there's going to be an increasing amount of people that go to gold and not Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has a problem is that because it's an internet thing, and yes, it's blockchain and all that stuff, but acceptability has a lot to do with it because you have to go through exchanges. I just think a lot of people are just going to say, forget it. I'm just going to put my money in gold. That can't be controlled by any power, any central bank. So, not a great deal. Question on Tesla buy point. Now, I am still bearish right now, at least in the short term, on Tesla, on this Tesla price, not on Tesla itself. I'm very, very bullish on Tesla, on the price, but I do think that, as you can see, it moved up today, 858, but then after hours it went down. And of course, part of the reason I do have this is part of the reason I do have a bear trade on Tesla. So let's go back to that just really quickly here, and let's see if I can pull that up for everybody. Let's go to the Tesla trade that I do have on. I think this is Tesla. Okay, this is Tesla. This is the Tesla trade that I have on. I am currently short on Tesla right now. Now, long term, I think the company is going to do great. The stock ended up at 858. When this was taken, believe it or not, this was 853. It went up that much after hours, but it is still it's pulled back to 855. So it's been fluctuating a lot. But I still am bearish, at least in the short term, on Tesla. So there's really no buy point that I'd like to share with you, because I don't think there is one. I still think it's moving lower, and because of that, because of that, that's why I don't think there's really a good entry, a good entry for Tesla at this point. We did have sort of a bounce off the 200-day line. Let's look at the technicals here to see if I can give you anything more on that. We are slightly above the 200-day line. We're basically 1.85% above the 200-day line. That's probably where it's going to reverse, but it's pulled lower than this again. So unfortunately, I don't think I can give you a good buy point on Tesla. I just unfortunately, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can do that. All right. So let's look at MNRL and see what's going on there. MNRL. And that's going to be, okay, Brigham Minerals. Okay, this moved up, and this moved up pretty strongly. But it was past the buy zone, but then it hit resistance and it's pulled back. This is why it's so important to have your stop set. You need to set your stop losses so that, when you get these pullbacks, you don't get a round trip on the profit. We may get another chance on this one. This is in a good area. The oil field, the E&P area for oil and gas is 5 out of 197. Now today, the price pulled back a little bit because we did have a 14-year high yesterday. The price is correcting a little bit today. So I do expect that, we will see these things continue to be a good area of the market to be in. So it's looking fairly good, even though we're looking at Square buy point. Okay, this is a stock that I'm looking to short. Actually, I know that it's hard to put your hands around it, but you don't want to ever buy a chart like this. Let me show you this chart of Square, and you'll kind of see for yourself why I am a little bit negative on this. As you can see, all from the Square at one time, not that long ago, in August, was at almost $300, about 265. Currently, the stock is at 111, and it probably is going to go lower. So you can see it came down and then it bounced and then it came back up again. It's bouncing. Well, I'm afraid to say this is likely to go down even more. So I might be putting a short trade on Square. This is because it does look like it's going to move lower. Let's go out. Here's the thing, and this is a hard thing. This is a hard thing to get your hands around. Many times, a stock will when it collapses, it will not come back for a very, very long time. It took Microsoft 16 years to come back to where its high was in 2000. So January 1, 2000, Microsoft made a high, and then it took 17 years up till 2017 to come back to where it had been 17 years earlier. And I think that might be the case with Block or Square. I don't think this is going to come back, and I do think it's moving down. It has the death cross on it. I'm probably going to be creating a short on this one because the relative strength is 10. That means 90% of the market is better than this one. And the right now, this area, this finance credit card payment, 169 out of 197. Now, does this mean that this will be a bad company? No, not necessarily, but it just means that it's going to have to come down to a level that the market will do something better on it. What happened is we did have some earnings that happened here on the 24th. That was the last release of them. They were not good. Unfortunately, even though their sales went up, their profits went down. So right now, the trend of Square is downward. So we want to be shorting this one, possibly, especially as it comes up to the 21-day line. So I would not be a buyer of this one long. I wouldn't be a buyer of this one long. So SQ, don't buy long. This stock is a short candidate. So really, that's kind of what's going on here, is that the stocks that we normally a year ago were looking great aren't doing as well right now. The market is betting against many of the tech stocks as interest rates rise. Now, right now, interest rates have not risen, but inflation is rising. In an inflationary environment, stocks with high PE ratios, and the PE ratio currently on Block is 59. In an inflationary market, these stocks will do poorly. And so I suspect that this one will be going lower. So I'm going to probably be a net short on this one right now. Again, all of these stocks that you're talking about, PayPal, NVIDIA, all this stuff, these stocks are probably going to be trending lower for the next few months at the minimum, probably 5 to 8 months. So we probably don't want to be buying these ones because they're likely to go lower. Let's take a look at PayPal. It's the same situation with the chart. As you can see, it's moving lower. Currently, it has a relative strength rating of 6. That means that 93% of all the stocks out there are doing better. The PE ratio is not bad at 21, but unfortunately, at least for right now, this one may bottom out, but right now this is going lower. We could see PayPal at $60 very, very easily. So I would not be a buyer of this one. So again, I just, right now we are still in this downtrend. I wish we weren't, but I think we are. So, I just, don't buy PYPL at this level. It's probably going to go lower. Here's what happens when here's what happens with a stock like this. All these funds are in it, and then all of a sudden it starts going down, and the funds have to get out. How do they do that? Well, they try to get their friends on CNBC to say, hey, this is a great one, buy in the dips, but don't buy this on the dips. Just don't buy this on the dips. I don't think you're going to be rewarded for this one. Currently, PayPal is lower than the 250, 21, and 10-day line. This is not like, you don't want to buy stocks like you buy merchandise at the market. This is not on sale. You want a stock that's moving higher. You want to buy it as it's moving higher. You don't want to move it as it's buying lower. It's really a kind of a different concept here. So here's the thing I would say, don't buy PayPal right now. Just not a good place to be. It's under $100 a share. It was all the way up here, and I'm going to go to the monthly chart. I'm going to show you how far this thing has fallen. We were up here at 300. We're now at about 100, 122. So it has lost 2/3. PayPal has lost 2/3 of its value. Not a good place to be in PayPal. Here's what I would do instead. I would possibly try to do a short trade on this one. And that is, the way you do that, of course, is like with a bear put spread. And I will probably try to bring you some more of those kind of trades. That's the reason that's what I did on Lululemon. Again, a good stock, good products, just not a good chart. And that's why I did that one. So there you go. All right, let's look at, okay. Can you please show MU? Okay, we're going, MU is probably a better bet because it has a much lower PE ratio than some of the other tech stocks that you have talked about. And we're in a good situation with MU. MU is actually moving higher, and you can see that here in the stock. But let's go to the daily chart and take a look at MU. MU is, almost at the 200-day line. We really don't like to buy anything if the 200-day line is flat or going lower. It looks like it's just starting to possibly move up, but still not a great entry point for MU right now. On the technicals, we are right at the 200-day line, and so I do believe that we may get some support there. Our relative strength, again, is much better than PayPal. Relative strength on MU is 65. I typically like to see at least 80 before I'll buy anything. Relative strength, I want to buy in the top 20% of the market. Right now, Micron is doing well for a tech stock, but it is still not a top performer right now. Unfortunately, I wish I could say that it was, but it isn't. So I would not be a buyer of that. All right, we have a question about Crocs, CROX. This is footwear, and this was doing well, but unfortunately, it also has a bad chart. This is a good potential short. I do like shorting these apparel companies because I do think with inflation, and we're going to have a lot of it, these will do poorly. This one is well below the 200-day line, and one of the things you want to look at, the 200-day line is starting to curve down. If you can see that. But as this curves down, this means that what it's going to do is it's going to rally and then fall, rally and then fall. So we're going to get an action like this. It's going to go down and then up and then down and then up. But the general trend is going to be down on this one. So here's what I would do on this one. This is also a good potential short. Crocs, CROX. Again, I would recommend a bear put spread or possibly a bear call spread on this one because this one, unfortunately, is going lower. Let's take a look at the weekly chart to take a look. They had good earnings. Their earnings that they reported on the 16th of February were very good. Their sales were up. Their sales were up very much, and their profits were up, but it still went down. Why would that be? Well, the market is starting to punish stocks like this, even though it has a PE ratio of 8. I'm afraid in this inflationary market, we're likely to see this one move in even lower. So right now, the market just is not rewarding this area of the market. This is apparel and shoe manufacturing. This is now performing at one of the lowest levels that it's ever been at least recently. This is one of the lowest groups out of there. There's 197 groups in the stock market. This is currently 194, so it's really on the bottom. Basically, money is flowing out of these type of issues into other issues. So I would not buy this one either. Unfortunately, I wish I could say that. I wish I could say that. Rivian is not Tesla. I agree with that too. All right, so let's take a look at evening, boss. Thoughts on Oxy? Let's take a look at Oxy. Oxy, of course, is in a group that is doing well. OXY is the symbol, Occidental Petroleum, and that one is doing well. So let's go to the daily chart and take a look to kind of see. As you can see, it's hitting some resistance right at about this level. You can see this is a flag pattern. You can see that. There we go. This is a flag pattern. As you can see, it's come up here and then it's moving up and down. This one could potentially take off. Not quite enough bars there for a flag pattern, but this is a flag. We are seeing a flag here. We have a base on base on base, and then we have a flag pattern. So this one potentially could take off. Now, would I buy it here? Well, it is interesting. I do think that if it moves out of this range, let's take a look at what that range is. If it moves above this $58 level, about $58.50, then we could be seeing a much higher action. Right now, it's flagging because it came up and it was too high. It was moving too high, so it's going to readjust down. But this one could be explosive. Take a look at these bars. This is the volume. The volume has been going right up on this one. So I do expect that this one very likely will explode higher. So this is a very good thing here. 57, 58, you're absolutely right. There is resistance. And then it basically broke out at 60. You're right. There was a pivot on Oxy, basically at the first pivot here's about 35, and then it came all the way up. And then you're right. I do think if it moves above this area, it could break out if it goes over 60. So you're definitely right, B, about this one. You're definitely right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set an alert for a breakout at about the high. So I'm going to set it at about 59 is where I'm going to set a breakout alert. I'm going to put a breakout alert. So if this does go above there tomorrow, then I believe that I want to be looking at it and possibly to go in. This is a good catch here. All right, let's take a look at some of the. We were looking at Gush long time ago before I had all those technical problems. Let's look at Gush, GUSH, and this is an ETF that is a 2x ETF, a bull ETF on oil and gas. So this one fell a little bit today. The problem with these ones, it's up after hours. I'd be a little bit concerned with this one because I think we could get a pullback in the next few days on oil and gas because we made the high on Tuesday. I do think we're going to get a little bit of a pullback, but definitely one to watch. I probably would not be in this one. The correct place to have bought this is about 120. 120.57 is the pivot. So for Gush, we're extended right now above the pivot, and that is unfortunate. But right now, Gush, Gush, is extended above the pivot, which is at 120.57. So that is the right, pivot. All right. If you, by the way, if you're interested and you want to find out pivots and you don't have MarketSmith software, there's an easy website. Well, there's an easy way to do that with a website that I want to kind of show you. It's called Earnings Whispers. I don't know if you have been in, you have seen this. You have necessarily seen this, but I want to show you this website. And this allows you to see. This allows you to see basically this allows you to see pivots, which basically are the same thing as a the same thing as a as a buy point. So if you're interested, let's take Gush for instance. I don't know if it has it because this isn't a stock, GUSH. Let's take a look at the pivots. And I do use this a lot. This is a free site, so it can be very, very good. Now, if we're looking at Gush, this is going to tell us right here basically where that pivot is. The pivot for Gush right now is 151. So if we were to go back to the Gush the Gush chart, we would see that basically the pivot is right. There is a pivot right here. There's a pivot right here. So we are above the pivot. So the idea here is that we want it to come above. If it comes above 151, that is possibly where we could make a we could definitely buy as it moves above that pivot. So let's go back to that. Yeah, okay. So this site that I'm talking about, this site that you can use, and this is free, by the way. So this is really great for this this stock. Of course, is Gush, GUSH. This site shows you the pivots, and I want to kind of show you there. Yeah, and so right now, the next pivot is at 151.32. 151.32. So it is potentially, if it can go above that and hold that, that's where you want to buy the stocks. But would I buy Gush? I would probably not, just because of the way the market is reacting now. So I probably would not be in it at this level. Well, let me take one more question. I apologize for having the difficulty with the difficulty, but with Gush, I would be careful with Gush. I think that your better bet instead of doing Gush, I know it's a little bit more conservative, but this is a volatile market, so we got to be careful in a volatile market. Your better bet is the XLE, which is the Spider Select Energy, and I do think that this one is probably a little bit better. Now it is extended again, so not necessarily the greatest place to get into this one, but this is one you might want to consider as well. The Energy Select instead of Gush, this is one I think that it would do a little bit better. The great thing about this one, the XLE, is that you get all of the you get all of the oil stocks in one. So this is a way that you don't have to pick a particular E&P company. You can just buy this one, and it will cover the waterfront. Let's take a look at the monthly chart. One of the things I like about this is you're starting to see, and I want to show you, and I go out to this level, you're starting to see this hit all-time new highs. Now, it hasn't been this high since way back here in 2013. The last time that the Spider Select XLE was at this level was way back here in 2016, 2015 timeframe, as you can see, and a little bit before. Even in 2008, It was in 2018, it was up, but then we came down, and then now we're coming back up. So I do expect this one to move a lot higher. Take a look at the relative strength. It's 93. So this sector is in the top 3% of all the sectors out there. So instead of gush, and there's some reasons that I wouldn't gush, this is the one I would do. It's the XLE, and I do think that this one, especially in this market, could be a good candidate. So for oil's exposure, consider XLE, and this is the Spider Select Energy. So if you want to have exposure in the oils, the XLE could be the ticket. I'm going to show you the weekly chart. As you can see, since June of 2000, this has been going up straight up. So I do think that this one may be a good place to look. We have, in terms of profitability, we're up 46% on this one. So XLE, if you want oils exposure, there was a pullback today, of course, but I think that long term, at least for right now, with all this inflation, even here in Texas, we're seeing $4 a gallon gas. So I do believe that the XLE probably will continue doing better. Well, I didn't have time to get to everything. Let's see if I can get the last one. Wow, yeah, this is amazing. I'm going to try to get some stuff out on the Amazon stock split. These stock splits can be very, very good. Unfortunately, we're in a bear market right now. We're in a correcting market, so it's not necessarily the greatest time to buy it. But typically, what will happen is when a stock is announced with a split like this, it will appreciate up until the day of record. So I'm going to get some more information on that. Hopefully, get that out to everybody. In the meantime, if you are not on the Dallas, you're not on the Action Trailer, it's super easy to do. Just go to www.Dallas Trading Floor. Now, I'll be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock again. Thanks, everybody. And also, we are going to probably try to do some stuff on some shorts. Some of the market is pulling back, and I think that we ought to look at possibly Square for a short, maybe Crocs. I don't know. I'm going to take a look at some of the other ones that I think are weak, where we could possibly pick up some money on that. Okay, so until tomorrow at 5 o'clock Central Time. Thanks everybody so much, and tell your friends, by the way, about the show. It really helps us if I can get people to like it. So please like it, and that gets us out to a lot more people. Really, really appreciate that. Also, if you want to get, of course, on the Action Trailer, that's easy to do. Here's the bigger like button, so hit that like button. Really appreciate it. That gets us out to a lot of people. All right, so till tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Thanks, everybody. Happy